Mare, Sustainable 2025. Today, we are honored to be joined by amazing women who are making a real impact in sustainability. Sila yung mga leaders, advocates, at professionals na hindi lang nagsasalita, pero may ginagawa talaga to push for a greener and a more sustainable milestone. And we're also joined by our audience coming from officers of San Beda Junior Marketing Association, non-teaching personnel, and students from students organizations. Welcome to this Sustainable 2025 in online. So, as we start our panel discussion, kilalanin muna natin ang ating mga sustainability queens na naglaan ng oras para sa atin ngayong araw nito. Ang ating first speaker ay isang multi-talented leader na kilala sa iba't ibang larangan. She's a professional TV and events host, motivational speaker, and first lieutenant sa Philippine Army Reserve. She also holds prestigious pageants like Miss World Philippines Princess 2013 and Miss Earth Air Philippines 2018. Wow! Bukod pa dyan, she's an entrepreneur and founder of the Enhanced Skills Training and Assessment Center Corporation. Siya rin ang co-owner ng Lakbay Cafe. Pwede ba magalang po? And Prince Custom Tailoring. Truly an inspiring woman. Let's welcome Ms. Zara Bianca Saldua. Next, we have a speaker whose achievements and advocacy speak volumes. She has earned several prestigious titles, including Miss Silka Cebu 2017, Miss Mandaue 2018 First Runner-Up, Miss Millennial Philippines 2019, Miss Teen Philippines 2019 Second Runner-Up, Reyna ng Aliwan 2019, Sinulog Festival Queen 2019, and of course, Binibining Pilipinas International 2022. And most recently, she represented the Philippines on the global stage as the third runner-up at Miss International 2023. Wow, okay. Beyond her pageant journey, she's also an interior design student and a passionate advocate contributing to community projects on sustainable urban development. She's an experienced public speaker, having shared her insights at events like CNN Philippines, International Women's Day Summit. Let's give a warm round of applause na overwhelmed ako pasensya na, Ms. Nicole Balomero. And moving on to our last speaker, she's a rising leader in the field of sustainable transportation and a passionate advocate for greener, smarter cities. She is a sustainable transport specialist at Global Electric Transport Philippines, where she works on electrifying vehicles, transforming urban spaces to reduce our carbon footprint. She also has experience as a former training officer at UCL United Nations Association, where she honed her leadership and advocacy skills on a global platform. Let's give a big round of applause to this amazing lady here, Ms. Kyle Tina. If you just heard the background of our resource speakers this morning, kumustahin muna natin sa isa. Ako talagang, I'm overwhelmed right now. So, kumusta naman kayo? How are you, Nicole? How are you, Zara? Yeah.
It's a real honor to be here, actually, Meg. Like, it's my first time visiting the San Beda campus. I've gotten the warmest welcome, and I'm excited to have this talk show.
Yeah, and you're
I'm in the San Beda College Fund. I made sure to wear the red.
Thank you, Nicole. Welcome to San Beda. Yes, how are you?
It's great to be back. I've been to San Beda several times, especially during the NCAA. I was a courtside reporter kasi during that time, since 2008 to 2012. And San Beda was like my second home because the Alumni Association was very, very active. And they always invite me. And whenever their courtside reporter at that time was sick, I would take over the role. So I'm very familiar with the Vedan culture. Really great to be back. I was hoping that I would do something beyond basketball here. And this is it. And sana mas madaming opportunity to speak for students because it's really something that I'm passionate about. So I'm happy to be here and to experience another side of the Bedouin culture beyond the NCAA and basketball specifically.
And you are so into the theme of SBJUA Beyond.
Beyond, exactly.
Beyond.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. Welcome, Sarah. And so you are a suke here.
Yeah.
Alright. You heard it. You heard it. So maybe we can invite you sometime.
I'm so more than happy to say yes.
Oh, okay. Just for the record. Alright. Hello. Hi. How are you?
Good. I mean, I'm in awe of my fellow panelists because like you guys are so qualified as well as being beautiful and tall. Which is something I can work on the beautiful and qualified. I can't work on the tall.
Okay, we're on the same boat here, Kyle, but don't worry, they're gonna help us. To have that a little nuance. Yes, exactly. So a little G probably. Alright, so we truly appreciate your time and we're excited to hear your thoughts and experiences on sustainability. Right? So, mga mare, handa na ba kayo? Let's start our Sunang Mare Sustainable discussion. Usap na po tayo. And we'll talk about real challenges and opportunities in sustainability, especially kung paano ginagampanan ng mga kababayan ito ang mahalagang role na ito. Meron tayong set of questions na nakafocus sa iba't ibang aspect ng sustainability. Okay, essay na to. Alright, so there are actually 4 topics. Focus questions are from women leading the way in sustainability, overcoming barriers and fostering inclusion and sustainability. And then number 3 is everyday sustainability and women's role in impacting change. Okay. Quite a big discussion that we're going to have. Pero let's narrow it down to some questions here. Okay. Arrange ko konti ha. Okay, number 1 question. How did you start your advocacy for sustainability? Anyone can answer. So, paano nangyari yung mga advocacies niyo on sustainability? What inspired you?
I think God first.
Okay.
I mean, to be frank, my dad was in government. So, my surname might be familiar to those of you from Tigay. Hello, Tigay Bennett. Because my dad is Freddie Tigay. He was the mayor of Tigay City, mayor congressman for a few years. So, really, growing up, I lived side by side and understood that there are a lot of challenges facing newly minted city, including making sure it was clean, sustainable. And then once he left the office, he went into the electric vehicle business, and I decided to take urban studies as part of my education. And so from urban studies, I moved into a master's in transport planning, and I really realized like one of the big things that is affecting our ability as Filipinos to really transform ourselves is just the gridlock, the traffic, and the pollution. So for me, sustainability really came from how can we change the infrastructure here in the Philippines to serve our needs.
So you're saying that you have masters in transfer. So did you take it here in the country or outside?
No, I took my master's at University College London. But I think I was very fortunate that our program at Robin Hickman had experience working with the AEB specifically on the Philippines and Southeast Asia.
Oh, thank you. I mean, with your studies, you're now bringing it here in the country, and so thank you for doing that because the opportunity was given to you and now you are passing it on. It's beautiful. So that is now the conversation that they have in London. So you're bringing it here in the country. So how was it so far? Bringing this, innovations.
It's really interesting because there are things that work very much in the West. If you talk about subway traffic, actually one of my friends who I did my studies with came here to the Philippines as part of consulting on the construction of the subway. It was her first time coming to the country, and she's her first time experiencing Filipino traffic, and she messaged me. She's like, "Now I get why you did Transformland." And I was like, "You see now? You understand?"
It's a response, right? That's great. How about you, Sarah? You're also into this sustainability advocacy.
Yeah. So when it comes to sustainability, I feel like Kyle has the most experience in terms of implementation that has practical solutions. For me, I'm really more about developing young students or youth in general from the years 18 to 40 to become active citizens. And then sustainability comes in different forms in the field that I'm in, because I'm a part of JCI, which is Junior Chamber International, or JCs para sa mga mas makitan ng konti.
Okay.
I'm sure, kilala nila, di ba? Pag sila ng JCs, alam nila. So I'm a charter president in the Smiths City, and we haven't had JCI for 30 years. And I was the one who brought it back, and we're all women. The first, I think, in the Philippines, because when we say all women, it's not female, it's women. Anyone who identifies as women. And what we do is that we create programs that are sustainable, meaning hindi siya yung one-off, hindi siya yung donation and then bye-bye. It's really something that we need to make sure that the community can continue. And if we're talking about sustainability in terms of the environment, one of our legacy projects is Garden Towers. It is a project with USANA Foundation. One tower can be placed anywhere, whether it's on a cemented floor or in soil, anywhere, as long as it has 8 to 10 hours of sunlight exposure, and it can fit 120 different types of edible crops. So hindi siya pang flowers, pwede siya sili, pwede siyang potato, pwede siyang cabbage.
Okay.
And currently we are providing it to all of the public schools in Las Piñas City. So 42 ang goal namin. So far we've got almost 10. And we gave 10 for each public school, and what we do is that we train them how to take care of it, how to harvest, how to build their own, because they can continue to use the same materials. And all of the food there is given to the students that are considered malnourished. So we're also working with the Nutrition Council of Las Piñas City. And I think you can consider it as sustainable because they don't need a big space for gardening, and they can continue to do that.
That's right.
And they can also learn and teach it very, very easily, because when we teach it, we teach the faculty, we teach the students, and the gardener, of course, they usually have a particular gardener for the school. So we teach it to all of those involved, and even parents who are volunteering sometimes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so I hope, my dream is that when we do projects or community-based projects, no matter what industry it is, whether it's in environment or, for example, economics, it has to be something that is sustainable, meaning long-term. Long-term. And the key word of sustainability for me, or the key idea, is for them to not be dependent on you.
That's right.
That they should be able to, that's why sustainability, kasi kaya nila i-sustain.
Tama. Ang ganda tayong mga babae.
Yeah.
We teach them to become independent.
Yes, ganyan.
Alright, thank you, Sarah. That's just so wonderful. Go on.
I agree with like everything you just said.
Yeah.
Like sustainability is the ability to sustain long-term generations in the future, especially as a woman, right? You always think like, one day I want to have babies. You know, one day I want to have babies, and I want my babies to have like an incredible life and a beautiful environment where they can thrive. And that's actually where I got the inspiration from my environment. Things to go back. I've had one of my experience, a terrible food. It was back in 2021, so we were dead. And given where the Philippines is situated in, you're bound to know, like, if you have to experience it yourself, you're probably going to know somebody who has experienced whether it be a flood, whether it be an earthquake, or like the worst was that typhoon for me. And it shook me to my core, because it was the first time in my life that I was genuinely fearful of the safety of my life. Right? And once safety is compromised, you look at life a little differently. You start to be more mindful and aware of things need to change. We can't keep living like this because like where the Philippines is at, you're bound to experience more and more. So instead of just letting it happen and like dealing with the repercussions, you're better off trying to prevent that. And so I'm hoping with my studies, I'll get to have the future of having more disaster-ready homes. And so in the meantime, what I said, since I'm only an individual, I don't have the funds to build houses. I went towards volunteer work, and I think that would happen. I guess my message here is that you don't have to be the best in that field, but you can offer yourself and take advantage of time, and even just if you're by yourself, like taking advantage of these things, or like going out of your way to meet people who are putting yourself in spaces where people are professionals. Like, I'm going to be talking to these girls right after. I don't know. So inspired, you know. I think that's what we need, like just spaces for people to get out, like learn about these things. Have an opportunity. So that's where it's
Actually, thank you, Nicole. Because my next question is actually about, you've been sharing your experiences, and you are the experiences that you've had actually resulted to these initiatives, right? And I completely agree with you when you said that yourself is the ultimate, source.
Start with you.
Yeah, start with you. So not necessarily big, right? It has to be just, the willingness to give something. Now, sa tingin mo, pagkagaling tayo mo. Ano nga ang na-contribute na sustainability na-mention na kanina ng content ni Sarah? But what are the contributions so far of women like you in achieving the goals of sustainability so far? Meron na ba tayo? I-assess natin. Or in general, not necessarily for women in general. You know some women that have inspired. I
think
contribution of women.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of women who are in the discussion about sustainability.
Right.
I've been privileged enough to be able to go to a number of conferences and forums on transportation, and it always makes me feel better to know that there are a lot of women who are doing research on sustainability, and specifically in my field in the EV. I had the pleasure of reconnecting with speaker of the ADP Forum last Tuesday, Ms. Diana Pius. I believe she's here from the University of Michigan, and she's actually running a study in collaboration with the ADP on ways and initiatives that the government and other sectors can help support the electrification of emerging markets like the Philippines. So it's her and other women who are doing this important research in the field, who I think are really going to contribute to making this planet beautiful.
Yeah, that's also our prayer, right? Yeah. We wanted to emulate actually the example of the West somehow. With the studies that you are being offered, I think it's a step, right? There are women in your field also, Sarah.
To be honest, when I look at people who I admire, most if not all are women.
All right.
And I think when you look at the conversations that women have, most of it is based off of how it can impact the community in the future, rather than how it can impact the money that's going into our pockets. Like a lot of women focus a lot about the money side of things, which is very important, but it can also make you short-sighted, because if you're thinking only about the money and not about the impact that it can have in the society, then that's where there can be a disconnect, because we're looking at short-term solutions rather than, again, sustainability, right? Just like what you said, you're a mother of three. Women, whether they're mothers or not, they have this instinct of looking long-term.
Exactly.
Because we are planning, we're planning ahead.
Right.
I've never met a woman who says, I don't know what to do. There's always like, if there's a crisis, they know what to do.
We're the troubleshooter.
We're the crisis manager of the family, of the group.
Yeah.
I think also for us, even in, let's say, US students, right? Most likely than not, the head of the group is most likely a woman.
Sorry,
Right.
it's our show.
Most likely, right? And it's not because we are looked at as leaders, actually, because we still know that there is a lot of sexism in every industry. But it's also because we just want to have our voices heard, and to the point where we are inserting ourselves in all of these industries. Because if we're going to look at studies, in economics particularly, especially here in the Philippines, the economic index of our society or in the city is based off of how much the women make. And women are the ones who are thinking about the money that's going to the family. Kasi yung asawa or yung lalaki usually is kung saan mapupunta sa kanya at sa asawa niya. Pero hindi nila masyadong iniisip yung mga bata. Yes, pag-aaral, but when you think of ano yung susuotin nila, ano yung kakainin nila, ano yung mga experiences nila. You know what I mean? So for us, it's where we're putting our money and paano natin ilalaro. Like for us, men bring the money in, but women are the ones who are able to multiply it. If you have, that's the studies that are happening, so that's pretty much it.
If you men out there, if you want to find a good woman, you have to make sure that that she knows how to handle your money, because that's the person who's going to make you rich. That's really.
Okay.
So,
Okay. That's a good tip. Yeah. So that's gonna be in their, checklist.
yes, because if you think you're rich now, find a good woman and she will make you double the rich. That's why they say behind every good man is a good woman.
That's not a cliche.
Yeah, it's not. It's true.
It's true.
It's true. You ask my husband, he's here.
Why? Okay, so I'm sorry, I'll have to ask this different question to you, Nicole. It's a different question. Yeah, but it's related to that. Yeah, but it's related to that. So we've seen women contributing so much, but have you also, like, personally into this field that you are into, did you experience any, what you call it, hindrances? Yeah, in pursuing your advocacy.
I feel very lucky, actually, because in many cases, I've always been welcomed with open arms. And I think it's because of all the women before me who have experienced like the discrimination, the sexism. They fought to do their. And so I got to be in the generation that did not face like the issues. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And I would be doing them a disservice if I don't continue to honor them. So I just want to let it out there, thank you for the women who have fought. When I think about mothers, especially, just the idea of having to juggle that. There are many people who are raised like single moms. I don't know how they do it. I tell people I'm barely just trying to be independent on my own is hard. Just trying to balance even when I was growing up, just trying to balance school was hard. And now you got women
who are raising
kids.
Yeah.
Going to work, having to keep the home, trying to keep the house and home exactly. So it's so much respect and love, and I just aspire to be.
Thank you, Nicole. One word, because we've been listening to you, and you are completely a model of your own style of leadership, and I would say you are influential on your own. I'm so proud that I am here right now, so privileged to be talking to you ladies. So in one word, how would you describe your leadership? I'm not gonna do the quote unquote, the leadership that you are demonstrating right now. One word now. Maybe a phrase. Collaborate. That's a good word.
That's a good word.
Thank you. We need that word right now. Yeah.
I think empowering.
Okay.
Because what's the point if you're keeping it to yourself? You need to empower others.
Yeah, as you are empowered.
Oh, first thing on the top of my mind is heart. That's how you
Others. There you have it, our first segment. Oh my. I think it's a lot already. You know? But it's just so beautiful. Look at how Mare talks, you know? I mean, just so smoothly. And so we are grateful for that. So, yeah, where am I now? Okay. So, now gusto namin marinig ang thoughts ng audience. Ay, meron. We're opening the floor for Q&A. Kung may mga tanong tayo sa ating resource speakers, sa ating mga guest speakers. Just raise your hand. May gusto mo yung tanong? I
Sorry, I'm Doreen from Food Basket Corporation. We had a session earlier and something. We're speaking regarding sustainability. How do we sustain the beauty that you have right now?
For me.
Yeah. It's like boxy, the busy time, being a mother also, or maybe doing your work.
Oh my gosh. I'll be honest with you, I have my off days. I have times where I wake up and I hate my sleep wear. You tend to get paid.
I learned that sometimes.
And I guess on those off days, it's good to tap into the habits that make you feel beautiful.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So what are those? It's taking in the effort to wake up in the morning, hydrate, or it could be going on a walk outside,
Yes, yes.
actually calling a friend.
Yeah.
If you're going out, maybe actually put in a little effort. It's like the way I present myself. It's like how I wanted to show up today, right? I know I was gonna meet you guys. I wanted to make sure I had my Sunbeta colors on. Right? When I placed on the suit, I was like, man, this is tight. Well, I'm hanging. I can't even look back. But just simple changes like that. I already looked at myself like that. I already feel a little better about myself. It's like it's putting in some effort. Getting myself outside my house and being more mindful of what I put in my body, whether it's and what I consume on social media. You just have to ask yourself, like, what I'm consuming, is it serving me?
Yes.
Right? Because if it's not serving you, if it's only there to bring you down, like that negative voice in your head telling you, like, you're like, why are you wearing that? Or like, you don't look very good. Or like any form of negative self-talk, it's not making you a better person. It's not serving you. You find a way to let that go. Whether it be through exercise, journaling. I have a journal. I always like write it down. Like anything that bothers me, I like vomit it on that paper, so that it doesn't get brought to me today. So because like a new day, a new start, right? Every single day is a chance to be happy.
Always a good paper to begin with.
Yeah, so I'd say that that's it. Paper sustainability.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think a lot of women would agree with me na ang sakit natin mga babae is we always think of other people. Always, right? You think about your parents, you think about your kids, you think about your husband. Even me, I'm not a mother yet, but I've had conversations with my husband thinking like, am I really ready to be a mother? Because if I know for a fact, kakakasal ko lang, I'm panganay pa in my family, right? And I take care of my family. So I just got married, and just now do I feel like I'm taking care of myself because my husband is prioritizing me. So I'm able to prioritize myself. And now I'm thinking, do I want to have a kid now? Because that means I will deprioritize myself, because alam natin, we will deprioritize ourselves and we will prioritize our children. So I think the best way to keep our beauty is to remember that we should prioritize ourselves. Because when we don't, we forget, di ba? Buti sana kung lahat tayo may partner na makakapagpaalala sa atin, like, hey, like my husband gets mad at me when I don't sleep early, or when I don't drink water, or when I don't do this. Like, I'm lucky that I have that in my life, but what about the others? So I need to really prioritize myself, and all the women, I think, whoever is watching, especially kung panganay kayo, or only daughter kayo, or if you're a mother, or whatever, you really need to put yourself first. Because how can you serve others when you don't serve yourself? And you end up looking kulas and pagod and wala ka na sa mood, di ba? Kasi you're not doing anything that you enjoy. And you're not doing anything, even papamanicure, wala akong time eh. So like, di ba? So if you don't do that, then you don't feel beautiful anymore because you don't feel like yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. You're prioritizing. I should have known that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she could check.
Everyone has such beautiful answers.
You are.
You know, very honest answer. What skincare routine?
That's also true.
I mean,
That's an industry, right?
yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, I think having a regular routine helps keep you, like, calm and balanced.
Yeah.
But the truth is really, and skincare and makeup, there's a lot that's happening on this day. So, being perfectly, a lot of people will tell you that I think everyone is naturally beautiful. But you do skincare, you do makeup to help enhance your features and your beauty. So you don't have to if you don't want to, but if I'm being honest, that's what's happening right now.
And it's working well.
Thank you.
All right. Wow, that's our first segment. Thank you. Wonderful ladies. Hindi pa tapos. First segment, okay? So, napaka-insightful na, mga kamare, right? So, marami na tayong natutunan. First segment pa lang. Pero syempre, hindi pa tayo dyan natatapos. May mga misconceptions pa rin pagdating sa sustainability at minsan ang tingin ng iba hindi kayang i-lead ng kababaihan ng advocacy na ito. Kaya dito sa Sustainable, we'll challenge those beliefs at titignan natin kung totoo o meet nga ba ang mga statements na ipapakita namin. Ito na yun. Alright, sige. So, meron tayong dalawang choices, am I right? Okay, so here are the cards, the placards. Ayan, nadali lang dito. Agree or disagree. Okay, so after I read each statement, kindly raise your placard for instant response. Okay, ito na tayo. So, agree or disagree. Okay. First question. So, agree or disagree? Hindi realistic ang zero waste lifestyle, maliban na lang kung may financial privilege ka. Anyone would like to articulate? Kasi lahat kayo ang why did you answer that? Quickly lang.
For me,
Yes.
I'd like to say na kasi yung ordinaryong tao, they have so many things that they're thinking about already.
Okay.
Dadagdagan mo pa yung zero waste management. And even when I was in Miss Earth, I heavily focused on environmental studies now. Not academically, but like lots of research and interviewing people.
Okay.
And if there's really anyone that's going to be making the change in terms of zero waste management, it should be the corporations and the cities, not the individual, because the individual will only follow, right? In Las Piñas, in my city, pag hindi mo na segregate yung trash mo, they will not pick it out. So, bahala ka na sa buhay mo. And all of our barangays have their own compost system. And that's not because mayayaman yung mga tao, yung city yung making the shit. And I think Karen like you have more to say about that because it is a public.
Absolutely. I mean, what I was going to say is you think about the economic realities. How much is a sachet of shampoo versus a bottle of shampoo?
Yes.
We're a sachet economy because it makes the most sense in the realities on the ground right now. It's not because people don't want the help. It's because it is more expensive to take the sustainable option.
And so it's more on managing the waste. So not easy waste.
Yeah.
If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, So it has to have the political will on the part.
Political and private corporations should really find a way because they're the ones who are creating plastic bottles, not the individual. It's not like the individual wants to buy it. Eh, yun lang naman talaga yung nasa market eh.
Yeah, but anyway, we're going to go into that discussion later because of course it's going to be costly because I was mentioning earlier that's the cheapest material that they could find. So anyway, number 2 question. Hindi mawawala ang fast fashion kasi hindi lahat kaya ang presyo ng ethical fashion. Agree? Okay. Babato ko na yung question nila sa syempre sa ating expert, si Nicole.
It's exactly what Kyle said. When it comes to prices, like,
Yeah.
as a consumer, and let's say if I don't have enough money, I'm gonna go for like the cheaper options, right? Like it feels like sustainability has like a stigma of being known as more expensive.
It is.
And so if we can change that narrative, make it more affordable, then make it basically if we could just make it easier for them to have that option versus putting in. It's like it's almost like food. You know, if you have the healthier option in front of you, but it costs more to have the salad versus the burger. People are gonna pick like whatever's cheaper because you have to think about their own sustainability as people. Everything else they're driven from life, and like there's like how many steps that you need to take in terms of being like ethical, sustainable. But sometimes all you need is the first step, and then slowly work your way towards what's fulfilling everything. Zero waste. What am I going to share that with you?
It's not about we are actually aspiring for that. We want to add Sarah.
I mean, we do see a shift that people are becoming more conscious, right? But it's really the convenience, it's really the practicality. And you see people like Greta Thunberg who talk about the environment and sustainability. Of course, she's really like the ambassador for sustainability and environmental and ethical practices. But if you talk to her or if you just watch her, she never curses the individual. It's always the corporations because they're the ones who are producing it, right?
Yeah.
So if they wanted to make it cheaper, they could find a way to make it cheaper. If they wanted to if they can't, then they need to find a solution to where it's going because anything fast food, fast fashion, fast materials, they're not ethical. Because we're the ones who are at the end of it.
Exactly.
Making it and also being the ones who are taga-salo ng mga trash. It's always the people who are underprivileged. So that's pretty much it.
So reality.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. We need to have this hard, happiness, right?
Yeah.
Because we're beginning to see the reality right now, Okay, but we continue to All right, let's move on. Continue, always, yeah. Banning plastic does not answer the root cause of waste. Banning plastic. All right, this is interesting. Does not answer the root cause of waste problem. Like, Kyle, would you like to answer?
I would say that like there are so many different kinds of waste that just a blanket ban on banning plastics is not going to. It might do something at the individual level, but as Zara and Nicole have mentioned, we need to address the corporate, private level, and the government level in order to actually really make an impact on space.
But we can always like begin.
So reality talaga.
Las Piñas and also in they're starting to, you see, it's very strict with that, right? They bring your own bayo.
But in Las Piñas, if I may add, we don't have a full ban against plastics, but we don't have plastic bags in the stores, and we don't have as much as possible bawal plastic straws. But because they are also practical, I'd like to commend the city of Las Piñas because they also have a plastic factory, not to produce plastic, but to get all of the plastic wastes and turn them into school seats, chairs, and tables. And they can do it also in turning them into benches, so school benches. So that means if you really can't avoid, then at least find a way to reuse the three parts, the reuse, recycle, all of those things.
Okay. Anyway, plastic. Hindi mo masasabing eco-friendly ang isang tao kung mahilig siyang mag-travel. Hindi daw eco-friendly ang mga mahilig ng mag-travel, yung mga lakwatsera. Nanihirapan sila sumagot ko dito. Agree, disagree. Agree, disagree.
What are you doing?
Disagree si Sarah. Sabi nila to, you have to. Just kidding. Kaya, what's your point, your take on that?
This is your special
As someone who works in transportation, it's difficult. Obviously, there are more eco-friendly and environmentally friendly ways to travel. I think, take for example, Miss Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, she's an environmentalist, she's an advocate for the environment, but she takes a private jet to every concert. So it's hard to look at that and see the balance, because you can really support the cause, but at the same time, if you look at your like private emissions as an individual, people are full of little contradictions. People are full of little contradictions like that. I think you can really care about the environment, but if you travel a lot, you also have to reflect on what the impact is. Like, if she's going to travel that much, maybe she can fly commercial. but it's also.
Well, she's probably listening right now.
It's really just like, if you travel a lot, be aware of the impact of your actions.
Could I ask you that?
Yeah.
Every one of us is a hypocrite. Let's be honest. Okay, there's one thing you're doing right, but there's also so much you're doing wrong. And as much as we want to keep fixating on what's wrong, I think we also have to think about what's strong. You know? Like think about the good that we're also doing. And like, you are allowed to aspire to achieve a certain level of sustainability, and you can work your way to that. But if you keep fixating on like, well, just because you're flying and you're traveling on your private jet, Taylor,
You're no longer,
suddenly you're a bad person. You know?
exactly. You're no longer
Yeah, and it's like, give yourself a little grace there. We're all trying, or you're trying. And I think we should focus on the efforts being made.
Yes.
And see where you can help out. Instead of like completely labeling someone as, no, they're suddenly no longer role models.
Just because absolute correct.
Yeah.
It's absolute isn't.
Yeah.
If you like follow in total, you can do that. I agree with you.
Really just a person. We're all trying.
And every single kid, there's no more than fast food. Everything.
Yeah.
You cannot.
Yeah.
You work a lot to begin with. Anyway, but it's good. Okay. Alright. Marami sa recycling efforts natin ang hindi nagiging epektibo kasi paramihan ng nire-recycle uuwi pa rin sa landfill. Okay. Alright. Okay, any take on this? Do you have any idea on this one?
It's really just about waste management programs and cities. As much as we can say that malayo na yung narating namin, but malayo pa rin. Because there are cities who can't. Like Las Piñas is a smaller city compared to Quezon City,
Exactly.
diba? Compared to Manila.
Yeah.
But there also, I'm gonna say this, no, because everybody knows this, but there's a lot of political agendas that are being held. Right? I'm not gonna mention the election.
Oh, yeah.
But magandang paalala sa ating mga kababayan na maging responsible, because the thing is, if you really want to have a better waste system, waste management system, it will come from the government. It's still the government. Because saan ba napupunta yung mga garbage trucks?
Exactly.
Where? Like, they're the ones who are putting it in landfills, and they're not cooperating kasi with professionals who can tell them what to do.
Okay. Well, yeah, sure.
On an individual level, we have a hoarder mentality. And it's actually like, it's in our culture, to be honest. Like, if you ever went to your Lala's house, like, you're gonna find it's super cluttered. You ever have that?
Oh, you're addressing this audience. There are no borders.
But it's actually ingrained into our culture as Filipinos, because based on our history and our past, like we were colonized, right? So because we had so many things taken away from us, now that we have our independence, we have this this tendency to want to just, no, I can't, because if I let it go, then sayang.
We all have a
We might need it one day. You might but at the end, like, it's been sitting there for years. This might be too much information. I once tried to help my dad. I was going through his stuff. I was like, Dad, okay, just background. He used to work as a dentist. And I go, Dad, I have 30 used toothbrushes sitting here. And then he was like, no, I use it so I can clean. Like little items, you can use a toothbrush for cleaning. And I was like, yeah, but 30? They're all like covered in grime and I was like, this is so bad. But it's crazy, if you go through your stuff, you don't realize like I have so much of what I don't need. We used to think the dream was a bigger house or like more clothes, a walk-in closet, blah blah blah. But you have to understand that the more you have, and the more you have to maintain. Exactly. So whatever you bring in, whatever you decide to whatever you buy, it's telling a story of who you are or what you want to do. And if you've got a home filled with so much clutter, that home is the physical manifestation of you. So I don't know about you guys, if you were like, if you had your Marie Kondo, like letting go.
Yeah, like just to prove her point, how many here has a plastic bag filled with plastic bags? Everybody here, right? Or a tote bag filled with other tote bags. Diba?
What are you doing with the tote bags? Okay, let's proceed to the next question. It's too late to stop climate change. Wala na tayong magagawa. Yeah. Audience, something can be done. Wala talagang malaking effect ng individual actions kung patuloy pa rin ang mass pollution mula sa malaking kumpanya. Agree, disagree?
What was that? Can you translate?
I know that individual efforts do not make any impact because of the bigger companies. Yeah. You agree? Because the bigger companies have a more, they damage the. Yeah. Okay. So, hindi naman talaga ganun ka-impactful ang reusable items tulad ng cups, straws, and tote bags. Speaking of tote bags, hindi naman daw ganun ka-impactful ang reusable. Hindi? Okay.
Kasi ginagawa nilang mass production na ngayon eh.
So pareho lang.
Pareho lang. Kasi hindi lang plastic.
Kasi kailangan din sa nagtutugpag mo sa tugpag. Okay. Alright, let's give our ladies a round of applause. Okay, so, ang dami nating napag-usapan at na-debunk ng mga misconceptions. Nakakatoka rin ng iba't ibang perspectives. And I hope mas naging malawak ang pag-uunawa natin pagdating sa sustainability. At the end of the day, mga mare, ang importante ay we take action no matter how big or small. Okay. So ngayon, gusto nating marinig ang real and unfiltered Di ba unfiltered yung paningin? Okay. And unfiltered thoughts ng ibang kababaihan. Okay. Tungkol sa sustainability. Sa segment na ito, Mare, Real Talk, we will be showing pre-recorded videos. Ay, may ganun tayo. From different women on and off San Beda Campus. Sila ay may mga real talk questions sa ating mga guest speaker tungkol sa sustainability. Alright, let's watch this.
Hi, my name is Mary Irene Sarmiento from the College of Arts and Sciences. And my question is, most of the sustainable options are expensive. Pero paano nga ba makakapag-practice ng sustainability ang students nang hindi napapagastos ng malaki?
Would you like to echo that for
My thoughts
Yes,
on
yes.
expenses for sustainability. I just want to note that when it comes to being sustainable, it doesn't just limit yourself to the environment. I know that's been our focus,
Right.
but like you could also contribute to the sustainability of your community. So let's say like, your consumption,
Exactly.
your water. Right? When it comes to buying, I really understand that, but maybe look at how long an item lasts you. You know, so the moment you buy something, you don't just think like, oh, I'll buy it because it's cheap. You think, I'll buy it because it'll last me. How long? It lasts a year. That's why. That's why I kind of like buying in bulk sometimes.
Yes, long term.
Another thing is like maybe you could try even at home. I don't know why the first thing that came to my mind, ironically, were like cleaning products. You know, like when you think of buying the expensive, like super social, like cleaning spray. You could actually DIY that kind of thing with like that's what it's like. So try to be more resourceful. You know, you don't actually have to just buy these, or like let's say we're trying to buy groceries. You don't have to necessarily go to those high-end supermarkets. I just think we already have I'm not gonna drop names, but there are those like very social things. So like, be resourceful. Like I found a contact to get me like to actually go to the cheaper market and actually get straight from the source rather than having to buy it in the supermarkets. So just like assess your options and see where you can go from there. That's just a little helpful.
So that's really a misconception that sustainability is part of
it's accessibility wise. Accessibility wise, you can't do it. Like even just buying those like shampoo, those, you know, like you don't have to put into containers. So just find your way into other activities.
Right. Do we have another question? Thank you, Nicole. Do we have another question?
Hi, I am Florence Ann Escares, a law student. And my question is, marami nagsasabi na small actions don't matter. Pero, paano natin mapapatunayan na bawat hakbang patungo sa sustainability ay may impact?
Yeah, Kyle. Any take on that?
I think because I think earlier I put up this to the small action plan, but I guess for me it's the type of action you take. So the 3 R's, you might not feel that they're impactful on the whole, but if you want to put pressure on corporations, they listen to their profits. So I'm not sure about here in the Philippines yet, but I know there are a number of my friends who are actively boycotting corporations that they feel aren't sustainable or they're not putting efforts towards greening the environment. The corporations might not listen to one individual, but if they see their profits drop and they're like, why are our sales dropping? And it's because people want a greener, sustainable option, they will follow the money. So you see in my space, the sustainability space, a lot of car manufacturers are switching to hybrid or electric because that's where the money is. So what you buy or what you don't buy on an individual level can manage the corporation.
That's right. Is there another question? This is the third one. The last one. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nicole Angela M. Carita and I am from the School of Nursing. So, ang tanong ko ay, ano ang isang sustainability practice na madalas hindi pinapansin pero may malaking impact?
For me, listening to the two, right? I think this can kind of summarize what we can do, which is reducing. The first R is reduce kasi, and then reuse, and then recycle. So the problem, especially for nowadays, students or even millennials, we are very much into buying a lot because it is accessible, right? Because it is cheaper. Now, paano ba makakatipid ang isang estudyante? Huwag mo na siyang bilhin. Like, girl, do you really need another white shirt kung meron kang 5 white shirts na? Like, you have to ask yourself these questions, right? Do you really need another lipstick? Meron ka ng 10 lipsticks? Like, sometimes we give the excuse of, I deserve. Yes, you deserve, but like, yes, you deserve, but do you need? Diba? You can place that money into better efforts. We always go to shopping therapy. We always, actually all of this is because of like, I'm going to go out on the ledge and say it's because we are now conditioned into the age of capitalism, where the culture, the social media culture is always TikTok shop. It's always, you go to TikTok and you have like 5 commercials before you go to the actual content of the next individual. So the number one thing that people forget is to reduce. Because when you don't have a choice anymore, then that's the time when you reuse. And when laos na siya, that's when you recycle. But reducing is the first step. Actually, living a sustainable life is very cheap. It's very cheap. It's just not 100% practical in this day and age. Because, here's an example. Is it cheaper to take a subway or to walk? It's cheaper to walk. In terms of time and effort, it's not cheap. But in terms of money, it's cheaper to walk. Is it cheaper to ride a bike or to take a car? It's cheaper to ride a bike. Is it cheaper na humingi ka ng plastic bag or humingi ka ng spoon and fork na plastic? Or is it cheaper to bring your own spoon and fork? It's cheaper to bring your own spoon and fork. It's cheaper to cook at home than to eat outside. But we are in this consumerist, capitalist society where everything is buy.
Exactly.
And everything is now. So everything is easy. I hope that this generation, because we're all self-aware, will focus on the reduce part. And actually, part of your studies as an interior designer, it's part of it because now, if you look at it, she mentioned like your Lola's house is like a hoarder's house. But we can see that the generation right now is going into minimalist.
Yes.
Or the balance between minimalist and maximalist, meaning you go minimalist and the only maximalist stuff are things that truly matter or truly have a purpose.
Exactly.
So,
Beautiful.
reduce guys.
Reduce.
Bawasan niyo na yung pag-shopping niyo. Empty your cart, but not pay for it. Just empty it. Baka empty kasi buy na.
That's true. I mean, it's shopping therapy, right? So click, and then empty.
Yeah, you always have to think like, do I need this? Do I have kamukha naman ito?
Go back to that na lang.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so wonderful.
Baka may natamaan kasi.
Sorry. Madami, tinamaan. Okay. Nakakatuwaan. Ang dami namin nalaman mula sa general questions and challenges, misconceptions, hanggang sa mga concrete actions. Okay. Meron pa ako mga natitirang tanong dito Chris. Okay. So, yeah. I have some questions here before we proceed to the wisdom or, yeah. Okay. Ibato ko na rin because these are beautiful questions, okay? Yes! Okay. Sa tingin mo, ano yung mga bagay na nakaka-influence sa isang babae ng yung advocacy ng sustainability? I think it was mentioned earlier because of your dad. Okay. Ayun, ito na. Ano yung pinakamalaking challenge on your respective career? Ano yung pinakamalaking challenge? Although I asked this a little earlier, pero we'd like to hear it from you. Ano yung challenge ng bilang babae? Tapos ganito yung advocacy natin, yung sustainability. So these are two big, issues that we are confronted with. One is sustainability, and the second one is people. I mean, we are not discounting the fact that we are
transports of boys love cars, and they're very defensive of their cars. That's the real trouble. Men love cars, and they don't want to part from their cars. Actually, our shuttle service ridership, it's over 65% women, and we asked why women are driving, and they like our vehicle. They feel safer on the vehicle. It's air conditioned, it's good. And men are less picky, but also more attached to their cars. So the big barrier is really trying to divorce boys from their cars.
That's like brave, I would say. That's very, really brave. You know, like coming into this particular industry that is usually for men, and 5%, it's not a number. Oh, okay. There's something to look forward to. I mean, this is a shift, all right? Great shift, indeed.
For me, just because I've been in the beauty industry, right? I've always had challenges in the sense that if I'm in a professional setting, the men will never ask an intellectual question to women. It's always about, bakit ang ganda mo? Diba? Bakit ang tangkad mo? It's always like physical. Or bakit ka nag-beauty queen? May asawa ka ba? Like never anything that has to do with your mind. And it's not, of course there's like pretty privilege, which is a topic all on its own. But there's also pretty bias, which means people when they look at me, they think I'm already not smart. They only think it's just a beauty rather than the brains. And the only thing that I really love right now, because she mentioned that there are women who are able to pave the way for other women, that's why there's less discrimination on her part. It's not because men are giving us a chance to sit at the table. It's because women are creating their own tables already. So if there's a man that will say no, there's a woman who will say yes. So if I'd rather work with a woman, then work with a man. Because I feel safer, I feel like there's no hidden agenda, and several times already there have been indecent proposals. So that's why it's better to, most of the time, work with other women who are willing to foster or empower you as well. And there's a lot of conversation about whether it's sexist or if it's ageist, but it's a lot both. It's a lot because the previous generation doesn't really believe in women or the new generation, and it's difficult for women who are young. So it's not only difficult for women, but more difficult for young women. And it's not, and it goes back to, kasi yung mga kababaihan are very emotional. Right? And it goes back to the number one thing that I said earlier, which is when men talk about sustainability, they talk about the money. But when women talk about sustainability, they talk about impact. They talk about long term. And that's where kasi emotional tayo mga kapabalihan. Hindi tayo nag-iisip ng practical. Yeah, kailangan. Because what's more practical? The future of our children or the money for now? The money in your pockets particularly, right? And I'm just glad that like women like Nicole right now she doesn't have that many problems, because in my generation, no, really, because I joined beauty pageant really like before in the national setup, mas mahirap, because you have to please the male sponsors rather than just choosing to present who you are. Beauty industry, you think that it's a lot of women, but actually it's controlled by a lot of men with deep pockets. So yeah, that's the reality of it. Yeah, it just allows us to have a platform, and when we do have the platform, we switch already the narrative, and we switch on. We're now being invited to talks like this, but before, very bihira na you'll find a woman on a panel. In tech spaces now, they want to have a woman on the tech space. Now they want to have a women in the transportation space or the sustainability space, because our voice matters. And we made our own table, our own boardrooms. Yeah. We drive our own cars. Yeah. And we didn't have to rely on the man anymore. And I think the women of the older generation can feel that. Like, naramdaman nila na before wala talaga. Even in the educational space, I'm sure na laging tinitignan yung mga male teachers, male deans, male professors, kaysa sa mga academics who are female and who are able to speak.
I agree with everything that Sarah said. Okay. I just want to add that, when you think of leadership, a lot of the times you think about how a man leads, and it's very aggressive, very almost harsh.
Yeah.
But so when it comes to being a woman leader, maybe some of you might even think oh, I have to just be as I have to stand up and I have to be all manly to kind of get my way. But in this day and age, there are so many CEOs who happen to be female. There are many leaders out there, and I think it's because women have something different to offer. We might be called too emotional, but I like to think we're more compassionate. Right? We actually think that we put the human touch into the person. It's we don't just think, oh, they have to get the job done. We think, oh, we have empathy. That's what it is. We think about their families. We think about their well-being. Because we understand that when it comes to work, we're not robots. Right? We understand that we're trying to build connections here. We're trying to build a community. We're trying to build a
beautiful perspective. And we would like to share this perspective to the organization. The last question. Sa tingin niyo, paano makakatulong ang student organizations gaya ng SBJUA na mabawasan ang gender gap at makabuo ng opportunities para sa mga kababaihang gustong mag-advocate for sustainability? Any suggested advice to the order? Paano daw makakatulong ang organization?
I'll start the conversation. I think I've been part of student organizations and I work with many student organizations since I graduated until now. And for me, I just want student orgs to focus not just on Women's Month when it comes to talking about diversity and talking about women's rights. I think the conversation should be held in as many topics as possible and focusing really on how to make it safer for women. And when we're talking about gender gaps, it's having a dialogue with the opposite sex or with the other genders, because it's difficult to talk about it na kayo-kayo ng mga kababaihan because you know already. Alam ko na. You need to have males in this space because they also need to understand. In order for us to close the gap, it has to be a two-way street. Exactly. If I'm the only one closing the gap, it's going to be hard because it's like I'm pushing against the wall. It should be men and women doing it together and coming in with a single goal of addressing these problems. And then having these men understand, because if men don't understand, then the future future leaders, whether they're male or female, it can still be favored towards patriarchy. It's a big word to say, the patriarchy. I sound so Swifty. The patriarchy. No, but I mean, the whole part of it is we don't want to dismantle the patriarchy. We want to make things level for everybody. That's right. Because when women come in, it's always with a prejudice already. It's not.
And that shouldn't be.
And that shouldn't be. And that's why we need the student orgs to not only open dialogues about female experiences with in comparison with male experiences. It shouldn't just be a debate, it should be a conversation. And I always tell this to students, especially now that you're in hybrid mode, as many events that are non-school based, sumali na kayo. You see a lot of free networking events. And these people, especially your ates, those who are in their 30s, the Gen Zs kasi 20s, they're just coming into the workforce. But the millennials are the ates already, right? Mga 30 plus. They are more than happy to share information. They are more than happy to welcome you in their spaces. But you need to ask for it. You need to come in and make the effort, the initiative, so that they know that you're serious about it. And you need to go out of your schools. I worked since I was 16. And I went to different schools pa.
Okay.
Nag-sit din ako sa iba't ibang schools.
Okay.
And pumunta ako sa iba't ibang orgs
Okay.
and iba't ibang activities na non-school-based.
Dapat engaged talaga.
Engage because you will get to know more about the world when you're not limiting yourself to your world.
Anything to add, Nicole?
Exactly what she said.
Exactly. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I completely agree with everything Sarah said. I would just say, as women, don't be discouraged. You're going to find that you'll have to work twice as hard to reach the level of where a man in your position would be. And it's going to be discouraging, and you're going to feel upset. And it's okay to have those feelings. But unfortunately, because we are women, we can't sit and wallow in the feelings. We have to keep moving. But you can. I believe in you. I believe in all of you women here. You can do it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure you have something to say. Yeah.
I was actually having a conversation earlier, and one of the pieces of advice was to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You know, like any chance you get, go out into the world. Stop closing yourself off. Just be in your own head, because the world is so big. And the world is so big, and like you are only confined to the truth that you accept. That's true. Okay, so when you believe like, oh, this can't happen, oh, I can't possibly achieve it, oh, that's correct. That project is too big.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Right.
But you've seen other people do it, so what's the difference with you and them?
Exactly.
The difference is like you don't think you can. That's what makes it true. So put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to ask. Stay curious. Oh my gosh! And like the moment you're curious and you have like an entire organization of students who are curious too, you kind of like it becomes like this. It's like you each become an acknowledgement buddy. You know what I'm saying? And you get to share this idea, and that person like bounces off your idea, and then it just becomes this beautiful brainstorming. And eventually the project comes to fruition.
Like this.
I'm sure. I don't know whose idea
Like
was
this
it to make this song. Whose idea was this whole
So
marathon?
commendable, right?
And it started with just
I think we owe them a round of applause. Alright. Okay, I think, yeah. Opo, time na kami. Wow. Ladies, I had this awesome time with you. It's such a privilege. Knowing you through our conversation. Oh, I wish I have students like you. Alright. Anyway, ang dami nating nalaman mula sa general questions as I've said, ano? At mga mare, grabe na, no? Nakaka-overwhelm. Very inspiring ang moment na ito. Pero tandaan, hindi lang ito isang usapan. Ito rin ay isang kilusan. We've got to do something. Maraming salamat sa ating guest speakers. Okay? At hindi ko pwede kalimutan pag-direct kasi meron tayong mga words of wisdom. Tama, mag-share sila. Pero kung nabigay na nila kanila mga words of wisdom. Go out there, continue to be curious, to keep on moving, and be engaged. Okay, summarize ko na wala siya mo. Okay. So, maraming salamat sa ating mga guest speakers, sa inyong lahat na sumama sa meaningful conversation na ito. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Let's keep pushing for a more sustainable future. Dahil babae ang isa sa pinakamalalakas na force ng pagbabago. This has been Sulang Mare, Sustainable. See you again same time next year. Meron ulit our next What's Up Mare series. Thank you.